What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Clemente Collector. And on today's episode, I want to talk about what my favorite part of card collecting is.
Batting third, playing right field, number 21, Roberto Clemente.
All right, so recently I got a really big pickup for my PC. It's a Clemente card. I'm going to show it at the end of this video. But what I want to talk about has to do with that pickup. I'm going to talk about my favorite part of card collecting. And obviously, my favorite part of the hobby is the community, the friendships, all that stuff. That's not included in this. This is just collecting cards. And before I tell you what it is, I want to talk to you guys about where I grew up and what it's like here. Because we actually have kind of an unofficial holiday coming up. The first day of deer season. Western Pennsylvania, if you've grown up in any type of place like this that's very rural, deer season is huge for a lot of people. A lot of people hunt, and whether you're for hunting, you're against hunting, I'm just letting you know how big it is to this area. And it's so big that the first day of deer season in Pennsylvania used to be the Monday after Thanksgiving. Every single school would have that as an off day so people could go hunting. They now switched it to the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so they no longer have to have school off. But when you go deer hunting, there's a lot of preparation. You have to make sure your rifle is adjusted and scoped in and ready to go. You have to make sure you have all the proper clothes. You have to wear orange. You have to make sure you get your license. You have to do some prep work, maybe go out in the woods and make sure that your tree stands where it needs to be, or make sure that you are tracking some of the deer trails to see where they're going. And then when the day comes, a lot of people, they wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to get out there, to get a spot in the woods, and basically to get in that spot before the deer realize you're there, right? And then if you're lucky enough to shoot a huge deer, you know, everything paid off, right? But that's what I want to talk about. You know, a lot of guys, they say, I got this huge deer. It was a lot of luck. Oh, honestly, it's not a lot of luck. It was a lot of work and preparation. And that's where I want to compare it to cards. You know, sometimes we get a really good deal on eBay for a certain card. And that's what I'm going to show you, a card that I got a really good deal. But luck is really when preparation and opportunity meet each other, right? You did all this work in the background, the opportunity came up and you shot that rifle, right? And you got that deer. And sometimes it's a big deer or a big card, and sometimes, hey, I got a $40 deal. This deal here that I got, I would say I saved myself let me think here. I would say I saved myself $250 by being prepared, right? And that's what I want to talk about is my favorite part of the hobby after I went in this long story is the hunt. It's the hunt. You know, a lot of guys like organizing their collection. A lot of guys like showing off their collection. I love the hunt, and I love whenever I feel like I get that big deer on eBay or at a card show. And this is why I love being a player collector. I love being a player collector because there are so many rare issues that you get to become more of an expert. I'll never say I'm a true expert on anything, but you get to become more of an expert than the average person out there who might just be collecting Hall of Fame Topps cards, right? You're in the weeds. You're learning about these unique sets. You're waiting for an opportunity to pounce. This card that I just bought, I've been waiting in the weeds for over 2 years. And it's one of those situations where, so I'll tell you, the value of the card, in my opinion, is around $400. And I don't buy a card that big unless it's at the National, to be honest. That's the only time my budget is ever big enough where I can buy a $400 card. So for me to get this now, once again, I got it for $150. So I thought, you know, I'll never get this card unless it comes up at the National at the right opportunity. And it worked out. I got it on eBay. Once again, I was prepared. I had a safe search on. I've been keeping an eye out for these cards. And let me talk through it with you guys, and I'll explain to you guys what me as a player collector was able to learn, and maybe this is a set that you guys can keep an eye out for in the future for one of your favorite players. All right. So 2 nationals ago, I was with my buddy Matt, and we went up to a dealer, and he had 2 Clemente Nabisco Flakes cards from 1969. This is from the National 2 years ago. And I bought one of them ungraded from him for $200, okay? And I got it graded, and it got a 4, which is awesome. One of my favorite cards. So the thing that a lot of people don't know, and I know there's going to be some guys who watch this that do know about this, but there's going to be guys that watch this. I bet you've never heard of this, and I'd love to hear if you never heard about this. Nabisco Flakes, the back of the box had 2 versions. They had a version where, see this yellow border? We call that a narrow border card. So see how the yellow border is very, very narrow? Well, Nabisco actually had some boxes that had a wider yellow border than this, but it's a lot more scarce. So you probably wouldn't know much about it unless you were in the weeds learning about the Nabisco cards, right? So I want a wide border card so bad because I love when the card's even more scarce. That's even more fun for me. That makes it harder to find. That makes it more rare. And the thing is that, see the top of this card? See how it doesn't say narrow border? The grading companies at some point, well, they've always decided this for whatever reason, I don't know. The grading companies do not denote narrow border and wide border on Nabisco cards. So that's the catch, okay? That's where being more of an expert on a certain set or category you could take advantage of. So my thought has always been, I already have this card, but I'm going to keep a save search on for that card because a lot of people selling the wide border version will not know about its rarity, will not realize, and will post it as just a normal Nabisco card because the grading companies don't identify it as a different card. And basically, I guess a lot of people believe whatever the grading company says is scarce is whatever the grading company says. If they don't denote it on the slab, it's not more scarce. That's not my opinion, right? So recently, once again, here it is. This is the wide border version. And this thing looks great in my opinion. Try to get it here with, sorry about the glare. Look how good this thing looks. The back. Here they are side by side. So the guy who was selling this on eBay just had it as a 1969 Nabisco Flakes Clemente card. I saw it. Not a lot of people saved it because they probably overlooked it, not realizing how scarce these are. I'm going to actually show you the sale of this card. VCP has only sold 1 wide border graded Clemente Nabisco card Flakes card. I'll show it on the screen. It got graded on authentic by SGC and it's sold for $400. So if this card grades, it's going to be worth more than $400. Not that the value is going to matter to me. I'm not selling it, but I'm just giving you an example of if the guy would have known what he had, he would have graded it. Let's say it got a 2 or 3. It would have easily, we're talking about a possibility of an $800 card here, in my opinion. That's my thoughts. You know, you do your research. You can have whatever feeling you want about value and whatnot. But this right here is by far my favorite part of the hobby. It's so much fun to hunt. It's so much fun to do your preparation work. And yeah, once in a while, a deer is going to come past and you might have done everything right and you miss, right? You get overbid, you know? You did everything right, but another collector did everything right too. So it happens, but that's the thrill of it, right? Like you're going to have a story where you missed out and you're going to have the story where you got the deer. And that's what happened here, and I'm so excited to share it. I'm definitely going to get this bad boy graded. And what I want to end with is I love stories about guys hunting cards And I would love if anybody out there that has a channel that makes videos wants to give their best story about hunting down a card. It's not a VR. This is there's no prizes involved. This is just the love and passion of card collecting. If you feel inspired, just show a card and say the story of how your preparation helped you land a great card, and share the story. It doesn't need to be recent. It could be from a year or 2 years ago. It could be at a card show. It could be on eBay. But I challenge you guys, tag me in the video just so I don't miss it. But I love hearing these stories about picking up a card and having the wherewithal to grab it, and just all the work it took to get it and the time it took to get it. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.